in our country, more specifically in Juba, in regards to prices in the market. We advise that let people, if you want to access this, you have to access from the designated locations. The president has directed that he's doing all what it takes to make sure the situation stabilizes, and he has given his assurance to us. His Excellency the President has directed that all of us should continue to maintain peace and security in the state.
Briefing about the roads that connect our communities of Kapoeta East, particularly Kauto area, with the community of Nyamatomo on the other side of Ethiopia. Communities have been contributing both in order to work on the roads that connecting them, and we also, as the government of Eastern Equatoria, we also contributed, and we have come to share with the president, brief him, and tell him this development, and also seek his contribution and support. He appreciated the initiative of the community and the state government, and ensure that the roads facilitates the services to the people. On the other hand, I also briefed him the general security situation of Eastern Equatoria, and that the security situation is calm. I also told him that the rain has started and people are now already cultivating.
We secure the route safety passage for all the people coming from the north, going to Warab State and further to the south. That is now is mostly going on and up to today. We have also discussed issues which are related to influx of the people from Sudan who have come to the area and what is going to be done. He has advised that we are not here showing any type of hostility. Ours is a good neighborhood, is a policy of the government. Are also keen of how best we can avert the situation of hunger which is looming on the people and how best it can be done.
Vice President Dr. James Wani-Iga has encouraged states and administrative areas to prioritize farming to address the issue of depending on imports. Dr. Iga stated his word of encouragement during his meeting with the state and administrative area agriculture ministers on preparations ahead of cultivation period. In a media briefing, Central Equatorial State Agriculture Minister Lily Kapuki stresses the significance of investing in agriculture, highlighting the state government's dedication towards expanding agricultural production this year.
As a state, we are not able to do it alone, but we are seeking the help of the national government to rescue the state ministries of agriculture so that they can mobilize people to produce food. Without us, as South Sudanese, producing our food, I think our life will be threatened. We know that relying on relief, it will not help us. 80% of our population are in the rural areas, and most of them are internally displaced. Really, it's the right time now for the national government to embark in agriculture. Because our population are already in the state, we have mobilized them, and already they knew that this is a turning point for South Sudan, that we should produce our own food. We are calling for all the national government to support this aim and support the President of the Republic to implement.
In light of the peace agreement, the reconstituted Joint Monitoring and Evaluation Administration and Finance, Parmena Awarial, along the RJMEC Chief of Staff, Ambassador Behanu Kebede, presented the report to the August House. The quarterly report covering the period from 1st January to 31st March 2024 highlighted the progress made in the implementation and economic and technical cooperation amid a swearing-in session of 6 new parliamentarians. In a statement, the Committee, Oliver.
Covering the period from 1st January to 31st March 2024, and highlights the progress made in the implementation of the revitalized peace.
Enhanced friendship between the two countries and develop trade, economic and technical cooperation on the basis of equality.
3 months from January to March in regards to the implementation of the revitalized agreement and what are the shortcomings and the assembly. This report is to be referred to the committees of legislation and justice, and then the committee of peace, trade and industry, and then
UN, through its special representative to South Sudan, Nicholas Haysom, expresses support for timely conduct.
That elections can be held and that the parties can work constructively to make the deadlines. That any electoral event in South Sudan should not be accompanied by the possibility of violence.
The meeting between the two discussed issues pertaining to the elections and taxation. The Honorable Minister welcomed the SRSG and outlined his visit to Paris, where he attended humanitarian conference on Sudan. He further appreciated the international community for taking the initiative to resolve the
Kenyan President William Samoei Ruto has requested African leaders to unite their ranks and work together digitally for the overall interest of the continent. Speaking on Monday at the inauguration of Connected Africa Summit in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, Ruto stresses the importance of Africa unity in effective delivery of services across the continent. Information Minister Michael Makwelweth, who is representing South Sudan at the event, aims at addressing critical challenges and opportunities within Africa information communication sector and accelerating digital connectivity, unlocking investment opportunities and foster knowledge exchange.
in terms of South Sudan, of course, we need to elaborate our position. We need to tell them where we are now in terms of digital connectivity, and we need to tell them where we need support. Not that only, but we need to actualize them and tell them that this is what we are supposed to do. In his speech, His Excellency requested the Africans to unite their ranks, work together for the overall interests of the people of Africa, and especially in the digital sector, whereby if the Africans are connected, then they will be in a position to render services to themselves in a better way. So he called upon the people of Africa to sit together, plan, and come up with what will benefit Africa, and all the initiatives should be African-driven.
The Ministry of Defense and Veterans Affairs staff welcomes the newly appointed Under-Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Honorable Akeny Tongaleu, into the office. SSBC's Dut Takpinjok reports.
Senior and junior staff of the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs assembled at the ministry's headquarters at Build Farm to welcome the new Under-Secretary of Veteran Affairs into office. The Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs, Lieutenant General Jolton Balok, says the changes in the ministries are
Comrade Biara Atim, Comrade Victor Atim, Inu Gaata Mam, Vetera, Ugedem Alkana Alom, Ana Bugulom Shukran, Gedem to Khidma, Vetera Tatkum, Alkan Motlub Menakum. When Manele Kuninu, the Mentemruk Min Mahda, Akaman Telka, Ahsan Mahdatum Min El Mahdim Tafugu.
Major General Akeny Tongaleu promised to work jointly with the Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs.
Min Yomalela,
I become a father for veteran and wounded heroes. أنا ما هقعد في مكتبين. أنا بتحرك عشان نقدر نشوف حقوق بتاع معوقين وين. أنا بشكر كاميرا بيار في فترة اللي عملوا معكم.
The former Undersecretary Biar Atem Ajang appreciate President Salva Kiir Mayardit and the entire staffs of the ministry for working tirelessly with him during his term in the office.
الشغل ده ما بكون طلب بتاعك لكن ده تراست البدولك انت امشي اعمل شغل ده بعد ما انت تعمله لانه زي بابين هسه عربيه لما نخش بمرق ببابا تاني فانا دخلت ومرقت ببابا تاني the same thing لا يزول تاني بيجي هنا ل veteran affairs.
South Sudan War identifies the challenges to the associations and petition the government to support the association.
We communication with the World Veteran Federation, failing of executive committee to pay World Veteran Federation. We wish we as South Sudan Veteran Association, it could be very easy for some of us to access our president.
Representatives of the wounded heroes and heroines, Colonel Philip Jock refers to the contributions of the wounded heroes and heroines during the arms liberation struggle and appeals to the administration of the ministry to take full care of the war-wounded veterans. He affirmed the association full support to the administration of the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs.
It is very clear that all of us are very convinced that this country had not been born overnight nor happened out of blue. It was through struggle that the enemy could have been not convinced to accept the referendum that succeeded South Sudan to be independent.
SSBC News, Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs.
Let's go for a short break and stay tuned for more stories coming up. Welcome back from that short break. To proceed, the Minister of Trade and Industry, William Anyuan, expresses his dedication to revive the country's industrial sectors to create employment opportunities for the young people. Minister Anyuan was addressing the media in Juba on Monday after participating in the 39th Extraordinary Council of Ministers of the East Africa Community in Arusha, Tanzania, on fostering the industrialization in the region.
We have actually a challenge in South Sudan whereby we don't have industries that are working currently. We need to revive our industries all over, and when we revive these industries, it will help us to create most of the employment of the youth and women, because it is now a challenge that we don't have factories yet, and most of the partner states have factories where they produce essential goods locally. But for us as South Sudanese, we found it as a challenge that we need at least to revive.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Albino Akola Tak, discussed humanitarian situation with deputy governors of Central and Western Equatorial States in his office on Monday. In a statement, Minister Atak says the meeting also explored the plight of IDPs in the country.
And today we are here with the two governments of two states to critically look into the situation and provide urgent solutions to the vulnerability these people are going through. In our part, we have now looked around to gather some support that will be ready today so that we see how do we take them to these vulnerable people, including food and some shelters. I believe even if they are not sufficient, but it will just push them for some days or some weeks where we will get sufficient support to their vulnerability. We also talked about the durable solution to their problem, where we talked about the importance of us trying to maintain stability in the two states so that we have that opportunity of our people going back to their original places, because there is nowhere we can support these people in the places of displaced. We need to bring down those reasons why these people were displaced so that they go back. We also talk about encouraging them for cultivation, because this is now the season of our people going for agricultural activities.
We are here for the crisis, humanitarian crisis that our people from our neighbor state, Western Equatoria, have displayed to Dolopayam of Juba County in our state for the humanitarian crisis. So that is why we are here to get support from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, and we thank the Minister because we have a good discussion and we agreed on other things because we need to work more and talk less.
Due to the insecurity in Western Equatoria State, in particular in Kediba or in Minga Payam. That's why we're here to ask the Minister for the urgent humanitarian support to our people in Roko. We as a state government, we have tried our level best to contribute and support our people. The Western Equatorial State government, under the leadership of Comrade Futio Karaba, and Central Equatorial government, leadership of Comrade Adil. That's why we came here to join hands together with the Minister of Humanitarian so that we can extend the support to our people.
As members of Agricultural Bank of South Sudan are continuing to assess agricultural preparations across Bahr el Ghazal region, the delegation has arrived in Warrap State to assess farmlands after visiting Lakes, Western Bahr el Ghazal and Northern Bahr el Ghazal states, respectively. The delegation led by Piang Deng Kwal inspected 700 fedans in Gogrial East County and interacted with the farmers to understand the challenges hindering agriculture production. A member of the board, Duar Deng Duar, encouraged the communities to engage in extensive agriculture to reduce dependency on foreign imports, underscoring the significance of investing in agriculture. Some farmers cited lack of seeds and tools as the major challenges hampering agriculture production.
We are in the Blue Hill agriculture enterprise in Luel, in Gogrial East. We have come here to see how our farmers are able to do it by their own. The whole total area that is cleared for farming in the nearest season that is coming, cultivation season, is about 700 fadan. The area is really very big. It is encouraging. We use mechanized farming So the Agriculture Bank of South Sudan Board of Directors, that is led by General Piang, who was tasked to come to do assessment in Bahr Ghazal, have actually taken this farm as one of the example among other farms that we have visited, that we should come and see and try to see what are the problem, what is needed to be added by them. Here, from what we will be finding from our assessment, we will respond to it, because the season is actually running faster than expected. When we go back to Juba, we shall be making sure that after the compilation of our reports, I will make sure that we respond to such finding we have got.
Blue Hill Agricultural Enterprise started in 2016. It is belonged to someone called Edward Yerier. He made it just intentionally to make sure that this land has produced something to reduce the poverty of the area and also promote the economy of South Sudan. And for that matter, he started with 100 per dan, he came to 200, and now we are reaching 700 per dan. And the objective overall is to make sure that the area of Bahr Ghazal and South Sudan may get something from it. Citizens are doing their best, but there are numerous of challenges. We are doing manual cultivation here. The laborers are unskilled laborers that always plant, and planting to spray the seed sometimes may cause a lot of problems. And for this matter, we ask if Agricultural Bank of South Sudan can help us to support this gentleman with mechanized farming.
أنا اسمي Honorable Rebecca Longtat. أنا جيت في مقاطعة بتاع غوريال إيس بزراعة بتاع أكونا يرير بالنسبة بتاع زراعة خلينا نكون زراعة فهي بتاعنا يكون نمر واحد.
Today, a significant crackdown unfolds in Juba as the Central Equatorial State Demolition Committee intensifies efforts to clear squatters from Juba Girls Secondary School. The committee, determined to leave the stone unturned in reclaiming the city, has executed extensive crackdowns, dismantling structures occupied by squatters. In a stern warning, the committee emphasizes that any resistance from the occupants will be met with swift legal action. Residents expressed concerns over the impact of the crackdown on their livelihoods, calling for alternative solutions to address housing challenges.
Today we are here in Juba Girls, which is very close to SPLM House. We have successfully carried out an operation this morning. There are illegal people who decided to erect their tokens on the roadside, and this road is very close to Juba Girls. And these occupants or these people who are put on illegal buildings here are mixing up with these school children, which is not culturally right, because most of them are either putting on attires which are not good for children to see. So today we have demolished it. We have demolished this place very successfully. This place is very close to the Mayardit used to come here. Of His Excellency, the Governor of Central Equatoria. Our mandate will continue as a committee to ensure that no public land or public place is occupied by squatters. As we have successfully demolished this area, we will continue with the many.
We are turning our focus to a monumental stride in South Sudan's oil sector as the nation stands on the brink of unlocking unprecedented potential. In a landmark agreement signed with South Sudan back in May 2019, worth a staggering $50 million. Now South Sudan embarks on a transformative journey in the exploration of Jonglei State's Block B2 following the triumphant completion of the comprehensive aerial survey, setting the pace for oil and environmental assessment. Our correspondent, Mathiang Joseph, delves into the details.
It has been a historic endeavor marked by a collaboration and ambition. The journey began with the Strategic Fuel Fund, a South African entity taking to the skies for an area reserves covering a breathtaking expanse of 47,000 square kilometers. This survey stands as the largest ever conducted in South Sudan. Fund's team engages with the state administration in a crucial discussion on coordinating oil assessment and environmental impact on the host communities. In a statement, the governor of Jonglei State, Dina Jok-Chagor, acknowledges the importance of the project in creating a new dawn for Jonglei and indeed for the nation, highlighting that this responsible stewardship of the natural resources should equitably benefit communities.
Block B2, the oil production that's supposed to start in Jonglei State. We agreed on that, making sure that, number one, we have to make sure that the environmental protection have to be put first. And which means that this process must put the people of South Sudan first, the safety first, and then the production after that. We agree that there has to be a close engagement that the Minister of Petroleum, the NALPET company, and also the Nal Orange company, together with the people of Jonglei State, that have to be done together to make sure that the environmental examination before
says that the partnership with the South Sudan's geophysical company has been instrumental in this journey, promising further cooperation in navigating challenges and seizing more opportunities ahead of them.
We have already completed our gravity magnetic survey in the area, and now we are going to embark on the next step of exploration, which is which may be the seismic survey and drilling.
NILPET Director General for Exploration and Production Engineer Tombe reaffirmed corporation's dedication to the upcoming environmental impact assessment.
The main reason we're here is because we want to conduct an environmental and social impact assessment, a key component of the project. Before we go to other activities of the project, we need to assess what the impact of the project will be on the environment and the community. The community of Jonglei is a very important stakeholder in this project, represented by the government. So going forward, I think we have agreed that we'll work very closely with them.
A promising horizon lies ahead as both nations gearing up for the next phase of this massive undertaking, with plans underway for an extensive environmental impact assessment, setting Jonglei to appear as a beacon of sustainable development in the region. Reporting for SSBC News, Mathiang Joseph.
Let's go for another news break, and we will be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back from that short break. To proceed with our news bulletin, Governor Kwal Mormor of Warrap State has called on women to unite and advocate for their rights. He was speaking during the inauguration of the State Women's Union's office in Kwajok on Monday. Governor Moore also pledges to support women activities in the state and urges men to respect women. State Minister of Gender, Child and Social Welfare, Rose Anyang, applauded the state leadership of the women to during the event and co-capacity and establishment of entrepreneurship to engage women in small-scale businesses. The Deputy Governor of Western Bahr el Ghazal State, Zakaria Joseph Garang, appreciated the role of organizations in supporting the efforts of the state government, and he appealed to the participants to the necessity of good discussions and coming up with a clear vision for development in the state. He made the remark while addressing the opening of the state government and its partners platform to discuss the state government's strategic plan.
The role of the partners in the organization here in the state, it is great to provide support to the government in many areas. And we are here today to share our experience and exchange views and knowledge so that we can bring out our best we have. And in the end, I would like to urge all the technicals who are in the ministries here and the DGs to work together on that and propose their efforts so that we can succeed in the end of the day.
وإحنا كشفنا جرائم إدارة الولاية غير كافي للتنمية، وهذا المدة قد يواجه تحديات كبير مثل النقص في تدريب الكوادر، وأنا بطالب من كل المنظمات العاملة في مجال العمل في الولاية يساهم في مساعدة الولاية بالنسبة لتنفيذ خطط العمل. As I close, let us recognize that we will even be more effective if we ensure joint effort towards development and develop strategies, new strategies to do things differently with the government.
A peace conference between Mundari Mola and Tendilu clans, administrated by retired Bishop Enoch Tombe with support from UNIMIS, concluded in Bora area of Tali Payam, Terkeka County recently. Mario Suleiman reports.
The three-day Peace and Reconciliation Conference concludes with resolutions and recommendations for strengthening social cohesion through peaceful solutions to differences and a request for connecting the region with telecommunication network and for rehabilitating roads in the area. Addressing the conference in Tali Payam, the representative of Central Equatoria State Governor and Minister of Peace Building, Gerald Francis, asked the communities to coexist peacefully.
لازم وديروا من شباب بتاع ثلاثة communities ديل ولا families ديل كلي اشتغل لأجل
County Commissioner George Wani Elia appreciated the active and candid engagement in the group discussions at the conference. He held the state government.
عشان كيف أنا بقدر ودي بلدنا قدام مشاكل سياسية أو صراعات سياسية ده ما بيساعدوا لكن أهم حاجة ده كلام بتاعوه ده بتاعنا التاريخ من الرئيس نادي السلام كلام تقول سريري أسباب.
UN Head of Civil Affairs Victor Paisama of the area and encouraging the use in pastoral camps to maintain sustainable peace and harmony in the region. For SSBC News,
at Bullock Playground, Yei Joint Star will face Al Wahida FC Yambio on Tuesday in the semi-final stage.